Please welcome to the show, spokesperson for the Donald Trump Bootlicker Fan Club and proudly celebrating his bar mitzvah in just a few short days, Ben Shapiro. We all know he's brilliant. In fact, I call him Ben Shapiro because he is a hero, which if you're not careful sounds like Ben Shat Hero. And in a way, that's true as well. He's the hero of bullshit. Ben, tell us about Trump's plan for Gaza.
All of the conventional wisdom, all of the State Department approved conventional wisdom for decades has led to full-scale disaster in the Middle East. It has led to an intractable, multi-decade problem of a radicalized Palestinian population that supports terrorism rather than any regime that would actually allow for peace, prosperity, and the building of a livable life.
Yes! Thank you for finally saying it. Palestinians are radicals for all of that living there they've been doing, while the IDF, which has directly killed over 48,000 people over the past 18 months, are the calm, rational, normal folks. They're so chill. They're like listening to Simon and Garfunkel wrapped in a blanket, drinking hot cocoa. Not radical at all. If mass murder of women and children in the tens of thousands, assassinating journalists, bombing every hospital on the map, and torturing UN employees is considered radical, I guess we're all radical. I mean, who hasn't done those things?
And in response to Hamas killing 1,200 Israelis and taking 250 into captivity.
Listen, Benny, you know I love you. You are right about everything, which is amazing. But you slipped up on that 1,200 number. As has been endlessly documented, including on this show, Israel killed hundreds of Israelis on October 7th. As Israel Hayom reported, data has been revealed that shows that during the fighting on October 7th, the Air Force fired 11,000 shells, dropped more than 500 heavy one-ton bombs, and launched 180 missiles. But who knows? Maybe they were firing one-ton bombs at squirrels or a surly raccoon. Okay, so you got that number wrong, but no worries. I'm sure that's the only time you will ever get something wrong. Anyway, Benny, you've talked about how Trump is amazing because he goes against conventional wisdom. And, so true. For example, conventional wisdom, use a toilet. Trump doesn't care for it. That's why he wears each of his $1,000 suits only once. Anyway, what other conventional wisdom has he gone against?
The conventional wisdom that if the United States actually moved its embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem, the eternal capital of Israel and the Jewish people, that if that were to happen, then the entire Middle East would go up in flames. And it turns out nothing happened. Nothing.
Yes, nothing happened after Trump moved the embassy. There has been peace and harmony in Israel and Gaza and the West Bank. Ever since then, nothing happened. Also, did you say Jerusalem is the eternal capital of the Jewish people? What? Do we have to move there? Because I'm Jewish and my eternal capital is, I don't know, maybe Richmond, Virginia? Jameson? No, Johnny Walker Blue, I think. I'm sorry. When did we decide this? Was there a Jew meeting I missed? Can someone send me the minutes of that? Because, just the important stuff. I don't need to know that Jake again asked everybody not to leave their dirty coffee cups in the sink. I get it, Jake. I don't need that stuff. Just action items.
At this press conference, he made the announcement that the United States would take over the Gaza Strip.
Yes, amazing. Love it. So what are the details?
Would take over the Gaza Strip.
Now, I don't know what this looks like in practicality, and President Trump didn't spell out any details.
Yes, my favorite kind of genius plan is one with no details. And my favorite kind of ethnic cleansing is vague, fly by the seat of your pants, who knows what's going to happen next kind of ethnic cleansing. Not this lame-o, by-the-book ethnic cleansing. Everyone's always like, you're not doing it right. I'm like, I'm doing my thing. Come on. That sucks.
Okay, so everybody who is against this, I have a question. What is your alternative? Seriously, I'd love to hear it.
Oh, shit. He's right. There's no alternative to genocide. Damn it. I never even thought of that. Genocide is just a fact of life, folks. Like aging and taxes and Law and Order SVU. It's always there. Hold on, let me think for a second. An alternative to the mass murder of tens of thousands of innocent people, followed by ethnically cleansing the entire area. Wait, no. Wait, what about not doing that? What about doing literally anything else? Nah. So tell us more about this awesome plan, Shat Hero, my hero of Shat.
And just imagine for a second if, wait for it, President Trump was actually right, since he has been right on the Middle East many times before. Imagine if this actually became an economic development zone where there were, in fact, hotels, where there were, in fact, casinos, where there were houses and schools.
Oh my God. That's so true. Just imagine if there were houses and schools in Gaza. There have never been houses or schools there before, except for the 85% of schools in Gaza that Israel bombed. I love this travel-sized Ben Shapiro fella. He's not afraid to blow up a school and then say, imagine if there were a school here. That's what I call bold decision-making. It seems clear he's destroyed all his brain cells by snorting whippets, but he's not afraid to say, imagine if there were brain cells here. You go get them, Benny.
So he was asked about his plan for the Palestinians. And what he said is, listen, if you want to leave, you should be able to leave. So the plan is that if you want to go, you should be able to go elsewhere.
Yeah. Why don't they leave? I hadn't thought of that.
This bizarre idea that people need to be trapped in this zone.
Oh, they're trapped there. That's why they don't leave. But who's trapping them there? Is it the defensive line of the Philadelphia Eagles? Or perhaps those flying monkeys from The Wizard of Oz? Oh, it's Israel that has trapped them there. That was a head scratcher. Thought maybe it was Judge Judy for a second. She's pretty tough.
There's polling data, by the way, showing that a huge percentage of Palestinians, if they could get out, would want to.
Boom! Brilliant point. It's kind of like how I saw some excellent polling data during World War II, showing that most folks in Auschwitz would have wanted to leave if they could get out. Similarly, if you knew someone who enjoyed living in a certain neighborhood, they grew up there, everything they'd ever known was there, they really liked it, but then you bombed their house, killed some of their family, cut off their water and electricity, you'd be surprised how quickly they'd tell you they'd like to leave. And the fair and honest thing to do would be for you to let them leave and build a casino where their house used to be. That's what good people do.
Conventional wisdom is you have to keep millions of people suffering in an area dominated by terrorism so that what? A terror state can be built?
Yes, exactly. Conventional wisdom is you have to keep them there while terrorism rains down on their heads. That's immoral. For example, when there's a school shooting, the proper course of action is to move everyone out of the school and then let the shooter move in there permanently and enjoy themselves. End of problem. Some negative Nancy's might say you should arrest the school shooter. But in the case of Gaza, who would that be? We don't know why Gaza is so destroyed, much like the city of Atlantis. It just happens to be that way. Maybe rubble was shipped in from overseas. No one knows. To sum it up, what I think Penny Boy is saying is when ethnic cleansing has gone this far, it just needs to be completed. And who's better at that than the United States of America? Just give us a call and we'll be there in a few hours. We're like the Amazon of ethnic cleansing. Well, thank you, my genocidal leprechaun friend, for clearing this topic up for all of us.